So Jeremiah 27:11 is not one of the passages we typically embroider and frame and hang on the wall. It says, "The nation that will bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, that nation I will let remain in its land, and they will till it and dwell in it, declares Adonai." Right? Sometimes the hardest thing to hear is that the way to freedom starts with surrender. In Jeremiah 27:11, God delivers an unexpected message to his people. If they want to survive, they must willingly submit to the yoke of Babylon. That wasn't what they wanted to hear. After all, Babylon was their enemy. It was a foreign power that had invaded their land, had taken their leaders into captivity. The natural response was to fight, resist, to find a way out. The people wanted prophets who would come with that message. But the message of the Lord was different. He says, "Humble yourselves under the yoke I've allowed, and you will live." It's a verse that challenges us because it goes against everything that we think about freedom and strength. We often believe that to overcome hardship, we have to fight harder, push through, refuse to back down. But sometimes God asks us to take a different approach. Sometimes he asks us to lean into the difficult things, trusting that he is working even through the struggles. The yoke the Lord spoke of wasn't easy. It symbolized submission, restraint, but it also carried a promise. Those who submitted to the yoke would remain in the land. They would have peace and provision and a future. On the other hand, those who resisted would face destruction. The yoke wasn't a punishment. It was a tool of discipline and protection. What's the yoke in your life right now? Maybe it's a season of waiting or a challenging relationship, a path that feels uncertain. Like the people of Judah, we often resist what feels hard, believing that God couldn't possibly want us to walk through something so challenging. But Jeremiah reminds us that God's ways are higher than ours. He sees the bigger picture, the restoration that discipline brings, the strength that grows in surrender. Submitting to God's yoke doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that he's in control. It's recognizing the discipline isn't about punishment. It's about shaping us, forging us into who he's calling us to be. Saying, "God, I trust you even when I don't understand." What yoke are you resisting? Name it and then surrender it to the Lord in prayer. Ask him today to give you the strength to carry it and the faith to trust his purpose in it. Lord, I don't always understand the struggles that you allow in my life. Help me to trust that even in the hard moments that you're working for my good. Teach me to surrender to your will, knowing that your plans for me are always good. And let his peace fill your heart as you walk in obedience and surrender.